Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today I'm going to discuss my thoughts and opinions upon the BBC America television series by the name of Luther. I'm going to talk about Series 2, or Season 2, Episode 1. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? So Luther, of course, starring Idris Elba, and this episode pretty much takes place just a little bit after the events of the finale, where we had a cliffhanger ending, not really knowing what's going to happen, not really knowing who's going to take the fall, who's going to take the fall, who's going to get convicted of the murder, for the murder that Reed did. And it seems that the person who did the killing, our villain in the first season, she's kind of like a villain, kind of like an anti-hero. We don't really know exactly what, to call her. But anyways, she's always helping, and she does something bad, and she helps again. She's helping in good ways, but if morally, and morally speaking, she's doing bad things. But she's doing these bad things for the right reason. So it has the whole. There's not really a black and white area. It's all kind of gray. And it's one of the great things about Luther, this BBC America television series, is that nothing's really black and white. It's all kind of gray, and that's why I like it so much. Anyways, she ends up taking the fall for the crime, of shooting him, even though Mark is the one who told her to do it. He was the one who took, who voted the 50-50 vote. She's the one who, in the end, pulled the trigger, so she takes the fall. And this takes place after the events of that, where once again our main character of Idris Elba playing the main character, John Luther, and he is back being a cop even after the events of happening. And Rose, the blonde-haired lady, the head of the cop corporation, has left now, and now we have the guy that was getting curious of John Luther's character. He is now the head of the cop corporation, and now John Luther once again is investigating crimes, murders, pedophiles, and that sort of thing. And that's pretty much the plot of this episode. The plot of the series. The main gist of this episode is this episode does a lot of plot building for the entire series. And this particular episode, some murders are happening, and this guy seems to be killing for theater. He seems to be killing for theatrical shows. He acts like he's killing for an occult of some kind, but he's actually killing all for show, all for theatrical play, and that sort of thing. And this entire episode kind of builds that up, and he's committing murders, and Idris Elba, playing our main character of John Luther, is trying to find out this guy, trying to find his motive, trying to catch him before he kills more people. And of course it has, the underlining theme of the show as he goes and talks to our villain, or anti-hero character, whatever you want to call her, I forget her name. Anyways, the red-haired lady who targeted his wife in the first season, he goes and talks to her while she's in custody, while she's in, her, rehab center, pretty much a jail, but not a, a legit jail. Anyways, he goes and talks to her and sees how she is doing. It's kind of like the underlining theme of the show is their relationship and, the characters, moving on after the events of the first series. Anyways, that is the gist and the plot of episode 1 for series 2 of the BBC America television series by the name of Luther. Overall, my thoughts and opinions on episode 1 of series 2 of BBC's America's Luther television series, I really enjoyed it as a whole. What I liked about this episode was not a lot of the major events happened, but what I liked about it was major plot building for episode 2 and so forth, because unlike series 1, series 1 had 6 episodes with big events happening in each. Series 2 only has 4. So this episode kind of was a huge plot builder for, later episodes. And I'm guessing as the series goes on, big, and even bigger events and, bigger happenings are going to happen on the BBC America television series by the name of Luther for episodes 2 through 4, because this episode was a nice plot builder, building on its plot, building on the technical details of the show, and overall just building on its characters. One of the best moments in the show, and probably the only actual fundamental thing like that actually has meaning to the series, is when he throws the apple up over the wall, and it seems to have some sort of razor blade and some sort of sharp object shoved in the apple, meaning and foreshadowing, telling that he's helping her escape. Little does everyone, little does the cop corporation and the cops know that, he aided in her escape, which could bring his downfall, but I don't think it will. But you know, I love the whole friendship. This series is really about their whole friendship, and that's one of the best things about this show. You know, let's talk about some of the reasons why I liked the episode. One of the reasons I liked this episode was I loved, you know, the interactions between those two characters. Even though they only, I believe, had one, maybe two scenes together, I believe just one. I love the interactions between those two characters, the villain, or whatever you want to call her, the redhead girl, you know, Tartar's wife in the first season, and Idris Elba's character playing the character of the main character, you know, John Luther. Every time they interact together, anytime they share a scene together, it's great. The script is great in those scenes, not just in those scenes, but anytime any character, you know, interacts with one another, you can tell that the show and the quality of the show really shines during every moment. Yes, there are times where there isn't, you know, every episode kind of has an individual crime or an individual murder happening that doesn't really serve any purpose to, I guess you could say, the underlining theme of the show, which is the relationship between Idris Elba and that girl character. And you know, so you know, there is an individual, but one of the things I like it is I think the individual crimes and the individual stories in the BBC America television series in the name of Luther, I think the individual stories, you know, actually benefit and add to the actual series itself, you know, the series in the name of Luther. And I think they really add to the series itself as a whole. A lot of times they have a nice horror vibe to them. You know, if you're familiar with my Cinepede Geek channel, you know I'm a big horror movie buff. I'm big on horror films, and a lot of times they have kind of a slight, not a major, sometimes they really do though, they have kind of a slight horror vibe to them, kind of a slight suspenseful thriller horror vibe to them, and that's one of the reasons I like them so much, is because they have that, you know, they're not just, you know, your average CSI New York or CSI Miami, or recently, you know, Crossy Lines, you know, they're not just your average, you know, cop individual stories, you know, where they're kind of just some guy goes out and kills people and the cops go and arrest them. The individual stories are actually quite interesting, and they really put you on the edge of your seat, and they really want to make you know what happens next, even though they don't actually have any, you know, this one might have something to do with the actual underlining theme, but I really do like the individual stories in the BBC America television series by the name of Luther. I like how the characters interact, and overall, this episode was a nice big plot builder. If I had to make one small complaint, it's not even really a complaint, but I would have rather it happened. I would have rather seen this character, you know, and maybe she'll come, is the character of Rose. You know, Rose played a pretty, you know, supporting character in the first season. You know, Rose, the blonde-haired lady, the head of the cop corporation, and like I said, the guy that was investigating Idris Elba, playing, you know, main character John Luther, he is now the head of the cop corporation. Well, her, you know, Rose's character, the blonde-haired lady, Rose's character seems to just be written out of the series. I'm not for sure. Maybe she'll come in episodes 2, 3, or 4, but she wasn't in episode 1. It's not really a complaint. I would have just rather have seen her character, because there were a few unresolved issues, you know, because she thought John Luther had done the murder of killing his wife, Zoe Luther, but he wasn't the one who killed her at all. It was actually Reed's character. So I felt there was a little unresolved issues between those two characters, and I would have just liked to see, you know, things don't even have to be resolved between those two. It wouldn't matter to me if they hated each other. I just wanted to see her character again, just to see where things got in the relationship. It's not a complaint. It's just I would have rather seen that happen. And maybe her character is in some of the other episodes, so I don't really know yet because I haven't seen it. Anyways, besides that, I really loved the episode, and like I said, it's not really an issue or a complaint. I just would have been, you know, it would have been interesting to see where her character go. But I really do like the new guy. I like him better as an actor, so it's not really much of a deal. It's not even really a deal at all. Anyways, I love the first episode. Can't wait to see where the series is going to go. That's my opinions and thoughts upon the BBC America television series for Series 2, Episode 1 for Luther. So let's go check out Netflix as always. And you can see that I am now on Series 2, Episode 2. And as always, if I take my Wii Remote and we head over to more episodes, you can see that I only have a total of 3 left on Netflix, and then there are 3 more that I'll have to watch in another fashion, unless they add them to Netflix. Anyways, just wanted to show you guys to you. Once again, thanks for watching the video by Cinepede Geek. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my page below, and I'll see you guys later with more videos by Cinepede Geek.